Footage Factory, here to save the world. I'm going to start by replacing some leaf springs. Currently, these XJ leaf springs are in pretty rough condition. Semi-bastard-ish with the add a leaf. What do I mean by bastard? Just putting stuff together that really doesn't belong. What does belong? Procomp 3.5-inch lift from Amazon. About $200-something. Get yourself the extended brake lines if you think you're going to be doing some off-roading, really extending that rear axle. Otherwise, if you're doing regular road driving, don't worry about it. Before they install, the Jeep sat at roughly 6 1/3 inches. We'll see where it sits afterwards. The day before, I started spraying all the bolts with WD-40. I even broke the mounting bolts a turn or two just to make my job easier the next day. Get yourself some heavy-duty, larger jack stands and jack this body up. Because I'm going to be jacking the axle up and down, I really wanted to make sure the body was secure. So I took the tire off and used it as another mounting point midway through the body, while the large jack stand will be used in the rear, as you can see here in the illustration. And I did the same process for the other side. Afterwards, go ahead and start removing the mounting bolts. For the rear, you have two options. You can break it with the brake bar or an impact gun like I did on the right side. I even loosened up the top shackle bolt right there so I can get a little play in the shackle and wiggle the whole unit out of the vehicle. Don't forget your shocks, otherwise you'll be doing it at that point you realize your axle isn't extending. At this point, you're going to start loosening up the plate for the leaf springs. Not much explanation this, just keep note of where everything is, because it's going to go back in reverse order. You take the plate off, taking everything off, all the washers, just keep it in mind. It's difficult to get the camera in there, but it's easier when you're looking at it to remember when you're putting it all back together. So just keep that in mind. As soon as the U-bolts are off and the plate's off, that's when you can start really loosening and removing your mounting bolts in the front and rear. A little trick I learned is to take the tab on the corner of the gas tank and pull it down, hammer it down afterwards. It enables you to get the mounting bolt out easier. Otherwise, you got to take the whole shackle off. And I'm not about that. It's all about simplicity. Here I am removing the front mounting bolts. Muscle it off. Give it a good kick. Now comes the all-important leaf spring that you purchased from Amazon, the only reason you're watching this video. Which, by the way, I'll leave a link in the explanation below. And be sure to click that because this is my sole source of income. If I don't get paid from Amazon, I don't eat. And I probably make about 50 cents a week. So I'm eating top ramen, if you know what I mean. Back to the situation at hand. If you were paying attention to how you remove the leaf spring, you'll know that there's a point right here. Call it a nipple, where you need to get the center of the leaf spring in order for it to all come together. And then you can start jacking it up. And at this point, the front mounting bolt should just fall right in. It's the rear that you might need a little bit of an explanation. A little trick I learned from watching YouTube is to get a 2x4. I happen to use a hammer and start jacking this up. It extends the leaf spring so that you can get the eye in the shackle and at least start the bolt. Your little fancy tricks. You know, at this stage, it's just reverse order of everything you did when you were removing it, and I hope you're paying attention to your own work. I actually reversed the bolt here. Instead of putting it bolt inboard, I put it outboard. Yeah, put the plate in, put the U-bolts in, just pattern tighten this bad boy. No real explanation. After it's all done, I put the shock back in. That was a little bit difficult. And then this thing's good to go. Put the tires back on. As you can see, I achieved a whole new inch. Now that inch may not seem spectacular, but this ride is much better. Instead of sitting ass down, it's level with a whole new level of firmness, if that's even a word.